Hi guys! This vlog is going to start out with me being very happy and very excited because I just got my very first e-reader in the mail. So my plan for this vlog is just a follow me realistically reading in a week as a professional stay-at-home daughter, because I basically all day every day am just helping out my family in a lot of different ways. We own a lot of businesses and I help out a lot with them and with the household. So we're just going to be following me, I guess, in this here vlog with my realistic reading, and hopefully I'll be reading a lot more now that I have an e-reader. So let's go ahead and unbox this together, shall we? Oh my goodness. Oh my. This is so exciting. I got a Kobo Clara in black and white. I did not get Kindle because I want other options other than Kindle to download books on. And it seemed like I did a lot of research and apparently a lot of YouTubers really like this stuff and it had really good reviews. So I bought this one. It is pretty affordable. Yeah, so let's unbox it. My hands are low-key shaky because I did a really intense workout class this morning. And I don't usually do those. I don't know how to open it. I don't want to break my fingernails. Break. It's beautiful. You guys ready for this part? Okay, turn it on like this. Oh, guys, I'm so happy right now. Well, as far as I know, I speak English. Alright, this is great. I'm going to be setting it up and then I'll just get into whatever the vlog is gonna have for you guys. I figured out how to get a couple books downloaded. Guys, I just freaking read Mistborn. Why did no one tell me how good this book was? Actually, a lot of people told me, like everyone told me, but like they didn't fully explain how life-changing this book is. And I just read it last week and it totally changed my whole life. So I downloaded Well of Ascension on this little device that I just got. I do have it physically, but it's really like big and like extremely floppy. It's like super floppy, like to the point where it's a little bit hard to hold with one hand. I do love floppiness. I love my books floppy, like that is very floppy. But sometimes it just makes it a little bit hard and it's like a little bit unmotivating when it's hard to physically hold the book. So I don't want anything to get in the way of me experiencing this amazing series for what it is. I can't even hold it upright. So got it on this thing. That's one of the reasons that I got this, was so that I can't be unmotivated to read a book just because it's hard to hold or just because it's too heavy. Or I mean, there's a lot of Brandon Sanderson that falls under that. I did buy The Way of Kings and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to just like take this places and just like read little chunks of it whenever I can. So that's why I really wanted to get an e-reader, and I'm also doing a lot of traveling. Quick little life update. This isn't even quick or little, but just something that you guys should know that I've been preparing for a long time. So I'm gonna spend 3 months in Korea this summer because I'm going to be studying the language. So I'm going to be doing a language school and I'm still going to be reading. Hopefully I'm still going to be putting out content, but it's going to be all me in Korea. So be excited for that. Stay tuned for that. I'm leaving in July and then coming back in October. So it's going to be a full 3-month thing. So stay tuned for that. But I was like, I cannot leave behind all my reading and all my books. So just another reason why. This is a whole lot lighter than bringing all of my books with me. So yeah, this is gonna be exciting. But currently, after I read Mistborn, I started The Ballad of Never After, and it has some sticker residue and it's making me so angry. I'm going to work on that. But I read half of it yesterday. That's a little over half. And I'm really liking it so far. It's just like reading super quickly. Like look at how big these words are on this page. So I am really just flying through it, really enjoying it so far. Love Stephanie Garber's writing so much. Like her writing is so unique when it comes to conveying really whimsical, really magical concepts that we don't usually see in real life, but like says it in so few words that it's not too flowery and that I can picture it really well. Like I feel like a good example of this is how she describes dresses. She is really creative with the way that she describes dresses. I'm like, girl, do you have like a minor in fashion or something like that? Because she's super good at writing, but also really creative when it comes to coming up with different dress ideas and dress designs. And she's able to describe the really ornate, really magical looking dresses in just a few words, but like I can picture it really well. She just does that so well. So I'm really enjoying it. So magical, so fairy tale-esque. So I'm going to be reading this. This is going to be the first book that I'm going to tackle in this video. So I'm really excited because I'm pretty sure this is the one where the ending is crazy, so I'm going to be excited to film that one and show you guys what I think of the ending.
So I started off reading while I was watching my little nephew taking a nap because my sister had to leave. I freaking love being an aunt. He's the best thing ever.
Side note, I love how Stephanie Garber uses words as nouns and adjectives and verbs that aren't normally nouns, adjectives, and verbs. Like for instance, she's describing what this dude is wearing, and she says he's wearing a thin gold crown atop his head and a high-collared coat that looked as if it had been sewn together with pure swagger. So that's what I mean by her able to like convey things that are kind of hard to picture in your head, but the way that she describes it is like less literal, and it actually helps you picture it better. Like, what does it mean to have a coat sewn together with pure swagger? I don't know, but it helps me picture the person better. I love it. It's so great.
So if you guys don't know what this book is about, it is actually following the Caraval trilogy. It's in the same universe by the same author, everything. And we're following a different set of characters. Our main character is Evangeline, and she lives in this city that was in the Caraval trilogy. And she kind of makes a bad deal with one of the Fates, who are the supernatural creatures from that Caraval trilogy. So she makes a bad deal with one of them. It goes awry. It sends her on this like whole quest thing where she goes to this magical place called the Magnificent North, and then just a lot of things happen that all require me telling you spoilers. So that's basically what it's about, and it's super whimsical and fairy tale-esque. Everyone loves that part of it, so if you love that kind of thing, then this is the series for you. And this is where my dad came out and told me that he really liked a joke that I made in my previous video. So if you want to hear me mispronounce the word Krakauer, then go watch that video.
I just took a little nap. I'm 81% through. So specific, I know. I'm really liking it so far though. The vibes are so great. I like the whole plot idea that's like the plot is kind of circulating around the main character needing to find these stones. And I like plots like that where it's like there's a simple objective that they're trying to get, like trying to get these certain objects in order to do this certain thing. And I feel like with that simplicity, it leaves a lot of room for like a lot of character work and a lot of really cool scenes and a lot of really cool places to go to look for the objects and stuff. So I'm really liking how it's going. And of course, the romance has me by the throat. That's what this series is really known for, is the romance, and so I'm really, yeah, I'm liking it. I'm not gonna say too much because this is like the second series in a universe that Stephanie Garber made, and I really like the first series, and I don't want people to just skip the first series in order to get to this one. I know it's more popular, but I really liked the first series, and so I'm always going to be an advocate to read Caraval first. Even though Caraval, the book, wasn't that good, but those next two books are like really great. So I don't want to say too many details. I'm just gonna be saying like referring to people as like this one dude and the main character and the love interest and stuff like that, because I don't want to give too much away. Yeah, the love interest is just so, he's like the kind of red flag that you are totally drawn to in a book, but if he was a real person, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, that's pretty much this guy in a nutshell. He like talks about killing people all the time. And he's the kind of love interest that's like, oh, I'll murder anyone that steps close to this girl. And that's like, in a book, I'm like, yes, I love it, I'm falling for it. But if that were in real life, psycho material. But anyway, yeah, so I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it. And it's going by so fast. I just started this yesterday. It's going too quickly. I don't like it. But I even read a chapter on my e-reader and I'm really liking it because it's especially nice to read in the bed because it is so hard when you just want to rest your head a little bit, but you can't, like, the book is so hard to like freaking hold when you're in bed, so it's really nice to still be able to read. And I feel like this is gonna make me read books faster. I think I mentioned that, but I'm hoping this will make me read books faster because I will be able to hold it in different positions and it's a lot more mobile and all this stuff. So I'm hoping that that's what happens. And I love that it does this. When it's off, it like shows the cover of the book that you're reading. This is low-key turning into an e-reader review. Yeah, so far I've been using it for like an hour and that's how I feel about it. But anyway, so tonight is family dinner night, yay! So I'm gonna be finishing it tonight after the dinner, so I will see you guys then.
Then I just kept on reading it even though we were playing pickleball. I couldn't stop myself. The end was so insane. I was literally gobsmacked even though I was right in front of my family and making faces and all that stuff. I just couldn't help myself. Nothing about that ending was expected. It was all extremely out of pocket. I was expecting like plot twists or something, but it was just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just so shocking. There was plot twists, there was unexpected things, there was everything, the whole shebang. And then my grandpa was asking me what that device was, and I was explaining to him what an e-reader was, and then he was like, so you're videotaping yourself reading? And yeah. So yeah, he was confused by that, so I just moved inside and enjoyed the rest of my reactions to this insane ending.
Guys, I am not okay after the ending of this book. Stephanie Garber's a genius. She really knew how to put the perfect ending in there that was the right amount of suspense and heartbreak and cliffhanger-ness that would make me want to pick up the next book. That's crazy. I don't appreciate it, but I do at the same time. I don't know how to reconcile those feelings in my brain. Yeah, I couldn't wait to finish it, so I just finished it on my new e-reader that I'm already in love with. I finished it. I was just hanging out with my family, low-key. That was insane. I was trying so hard not to like freak out while I was in front of them. I just did not expect anything that went down. There was like one little reveal. Like, it wasn't even little. It was one of the initial reveals that I kind of saw coming, but then the rest of them, couldn't have told you. Couldn't have guessed. Couldn't have guessed it would happen. So I'm so curious how the third book is going to go. I have no idea, but I'm so excited to find out. I have heard some people are disappointed with it, and I feel like, so I just have to kind of adjust my expectations before I go into it. So I'm not expecting a masterpiece, I'm just expecting the resolution to whatever the frick just happened. But I just started the next book that I want to read, which is A Throne of Blood and Ice by T.A. Lawrence. This is book 4 of the Severed Realms series, and if you have been on my channel at all, you've probably seen me rant about these books. I mean, I'm not even far enough in this to know really what it's about or if I like it or not, but yeah, the first 3 books are pretty great. The first one is still my favorite, personally. The third one was pretty good too. It was a lot more like rom-com-y than the other ones. It was a lot less like darkly dramatic, so it was more of a fun time. I'm only 4% through right now, but I can see she's trying to be quirky, you know, this author, and I hope it doesn't go too far because it can kind of like ruin some vibes. You know, I'm hoping for some vibes, and if she ruins it with really quirky writing and stuff, then it might not go over so well. First books were not very quirky. The third one was really the first one that she really made quirky, and I feel like it fit for what it was, but I'm hoping that she doesn't clash the two. I hope the wires don't cross too bad, so that's my hope. But this is another book that I was really looking forward to reading on an e-reader because it's so heavy to hold. I think just how it was published or something, the binding or the cover is just like really, really heavy material. So it's hard to hold. So I'm glad I'm able to read it on this because I want to enjoy my reading experience and I don't want to put it down just because it's heavy in my hands. So today I read about 200 pages, give or take, and I'm going by physical pages and not pages in the e-reader because I think that's a bit off. So I'm going to be going off of physical pages that I'm reading for this week, and I'll keep track of that and tell you the stats as we go along. But yes, that was day 1. It's Friday. I know it's weird I'm starting on a Friday. I just kind of felt like it, and I was almost done with this book, and I wanted to film my reactions to it. So yeah, we're starting on Friday. We'll end on Thursday, I guess. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep on reading this, and I might not be able to read anymore today because I need to wake up kind of early tomorrow. Even though it's the weekend. I'll probably sleep afterward or something. But I'll keep you guys posted on how much I read. Hey guys, it's Saturday now. Saturday is usually the day that I either read most or read least because I have no plans, and that either means that I just spend the whole day reading or I spend the whole day hanging out with my friends and my family. And today it was the latter. I hang out with my friends and family all day. So I did not read a whole lot, but I did manage to get about 25% of the way through the book. Or my thoughts. Not loving it right now. It's a little bit disappointing. It's not going where I thought it would. I heard from my friend that it was like really dark. Like it was a lot darker than the other books. And I see what she means because it talks about a lot of like just horrible things that happen to these characters, and I feel so horrible, but it like clashes so badly with the quirky way that the author is deciding to write this that it's just very jarring whenever it like goes back and forth between talking about some horrible things that happen to these people and then back to like the really quirky writing style. It's very jarring. It doesn't feel like it really suits it very well, and so I'm kind of like, I don't love this. I'm kind of hoping that it like makes up for it by a good plot and storyline, and kind of right now it is kind of giving me that. It is seeming like it's going somewhere very interesting, so I'm kind of in it for that. Right now I'm not like a huge fan of the way that it's being written, which stinks because that was like one of my favorite things about this series was the way it was written. I don't know, she's just like deciding to change up the vibe a lot. Like I said, she kind of made the third book a lot more quirky because it was like more of a rom-com vibe, and that worked within that story, but now she's kind of carrying it over into this really dark story and it's just like doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So I'm like, what's happening? So I'm just hoping that it'll get uphill from here. Hopefully it won't be so irritating in that way because I really, really want to like this book because I've loved every other book in the series. Morning, guys. So today's plans kind of got changed a lot. My sister was supposed to go hop on a plane this morning to go to her summer camp, but the plane ride got canceled, so we are instead going to drive her there, which is an 8-hour drive. This is what I mean by being like a full-time sister daughter. I just have to be ready at a moment's notice to drop all my plans and like do whatever needs to be done. And this is one of them. The original plan was for me to take her all by myself, but now my mom wants to come so we can take turns driving. So maybe then I'll be able to read. So I will let you guys know if I can read because I really, really want to. I'm still really back and forth about how I feel about the book, but I want to keep on reading it to for sure know what I think about it, and hopefully I will get a lot of reading time today depending on how much my mom wants to drive. So very cool, very exciting, but I'll take you guys along.
As I'm parked here in the back seat, now's a good time to tell you guys what this book is about. It is a series of fairy tale retellings, and the first book retells the story of 1001 Nights. We're following this girl that has magic, and the magic in this world is basically a sentient being that takes over your head. They like talk to you in your head, and this magic that she has is the ability to storytell, but super vividly. Like anyone that hears the story is able to picture in their heads extremely well, and she uses this ability to escape this arranged marriage with the king that is going to end in her execution. So in order to prevent her execution, she just tells the king stories that end in cliffhangers to keep him from wanting to kill her so that he can hear the rest of the story, which, if you know the original fairy tale, is pretty similar to the original, and it's super amazing, very unique, very amazing writing. Like I said, it was one of my favorite things about this series. The author has a really great way of explaining the magic system and anything complicated in very nice layman's terms that make it very easy to understand. And all is right and well with the world because there was a pretty sunset. So we're all fine. So far, all of my clips have been at night talking to you guys when I'm really tired. That will hopefully change after today because we're going into the week and I'm going to be able to give you guys updates throughout the day. But yeah, we literally drove all day, 14 hours straight. So that was great, but I did get some reading done. I did get a lot of reading done. I am now at 72%. So that in the physical book looks like this. So almost 3/4. Feel pretty good about that. I was enjoying it like for a big portion of it. Something just happened that made me like, what? So, you know, sometimes those things happen in books that just completely derail the entire direction that you thought the story was gonna go. That happened. The writing definitely got better. The romance from the start, I wasn't a huge fan of because it was not slow burn at all. It was so, like, instantaneous. And it did not work for the trope, to be honest, because the trope was, like, the girl is a captive and the guy is working for her captor and he's working to, like, experiment on her and stuff. And so it should definitely be, that should definitely be, like, the prime setup for a enemies to lovers. But they kind of just start out, like, attracted to each other, and so I was like, what's going on here? Also, I don't know, like, this is supposed to be a retelling of the Snow Queen, but I don't really know a whole lot about that fairy tale to begin with. Yeah, so I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of that, and also there's like, it's kind of funny because I just finished reading Ballad of Never After, and there's some vampires in there, and now there's like suddenly vampires in this world too, and I was like, whoa. Those are both stories that don't like start out with vampires. You don't like see it as a vampire book, but then for like suddenly there's vampires in them now. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I really don't know how the story's gonna go now, honestly. Like I thought it was kind of wrapping up almost, and then that thing happened and I was like, what's gonna happen now? So I really legitimately have no idea where it's gonna go, but I will hopefully finish it tomorrow. I am tired tonight, did so much driving and just sitting. Sitting is so hard. Also, my legs are so sore from the workout that I told you guys about on Friday. Apparently, I mean, I took just like a little bit off of working out and stuff after I ran my 10K, and apparently that was enough to just completely like reset everything. And now I did one difficult workout and now my legs feel like how I imagine it would feel if I got shot or stabbed in the leg and then had to recover from it, and like the soreness that I imagine this is how it feels, like the soreness that is like a wound healing. That's literally how my legs feel. I've never felt this sore in my entire life. I'm not exaggerating. I've been sore so many times and I've never felt like this before. I'm literally walking so weird because I can't use my muscles. It is so terrible. So on one hand, it is nice to not have to walk all day, but then it also like really tightens up your muscles, and so I'm glad that that's over. Let's just say that. But I'll catch you guys later. Morning, guys. It's almost not even morning anymore. It is late morning because I slept way in. For the past 2 days, it's been the weekend, and usually I can sleep in on those days. Those are like the only days I can sleep in, but I didn't. Both days I had to wake up early to drive people different places. So I took today to sleep in, so yay. Yeah, today I'm gonna finish A Throne of Blood and Ice. That is a plan. We will see if I succeed, because some things are just very unpredictable. I also want to get to Korean studying today, and I don't know how much time that's going to take up, but I think I will have enough time to finish the book. I don't know if I'll have enough time to start another one. I'll let you know. My legs feel a little bit better today. I know you care so much. I can walk
at least 10% less pain. So yes.
Okay, super random PSA. This video is sponsored by the food plain yogurt. Sponsored, okay? Whenever I am having stomach problems, and I mean like I have them a lot, okay? And it sucks, and it's painful, and no one likes them. Just like, eat yogurt. I am so good at sponsoring things, like companies watching. I know there's a ton of companies watching right now. Like, I'm your girl. I'm your girl if you want your product to be selling. This has been my golden goose, my go-to every morning, because usually my stomach hurts in the morning if I eat anything. But as soon as I started eating plain yogurt with just some chocolate chips sprinkled in for the taste, no stomach problem. Probiotics are a real thing. So this has been your super random health PSA brought to you by plain yogurt. No, but in other news, I'm still reading. And as I kept reading and nearing the end, there was a lot more crossover action between the other books in the series. This series is kind of similar, like think Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. Every book focuses on a main character and specifically a main couple, but then they're all in the same universe and they all kind of interconnect and start interacting with each other as the series goes on, which is a really awesome touch, and I really love series that are like that. The first book, like I said, follows the 1001 Nights folktale, and then the second book is about the Pied Piper. It's about a girl that plays a magic flute and it lures a bunch of kids out of their house, but she only chooses the houses that are abusive because she is also under an abusive leader of a gang of children and she is his recruiter. So that's a really cool twist on Pied Piper. I love that book. And then of course the third book, like I said, is a lot more of a rom-com because the concept is pretty ridiculous. It is based off of Cinderella, but it is just ridiculous from the start because of the idiocy of the prince and how he is trying to look for this Cinderella, but the only thing he has to go off of is the shoe size, and the main girl is like, this guy is an idiot. He thinks that there's only one girl in this kingdom that could fit this shoe size. So it just starts off really hilarious and really goofy, and it makes it a lot more rom-com-y, just the whole premise of the book. And that's why I was saying that it really suited that book because of how ridiculous the premise was. And then starting in on this book, we're kind of following a character that we met in the last book, and so we're kind of continuing her story, and it really takes a turn that is very unexpected. As you can see, by the end of this, I was really shocked and everything was kind of not going how I thought. The end was low-key stressful of this book. Definitely took a whole U-turn from the beginning, how it was just kind of like weirdly cheerful. I kind of discovered why it was like that at the beginning, and so it seems like all of that was there for a reason. Just gotta trust it when T.A. Lawrence writes it. Mother knows best.
This book is so freaking depressing. I feel so bad for these characters. I would not want to be them at all. They were the last people I would want to be right now. Honestly, the nerve of this author. This is definitely the darkest book in the series so far. So many trigger warnings, like all of the trigger stuff happens in this book. Everyone is just so evil. Oh my goodness. I have like no faith in humanity when I'm reading this book. Luckily, a lot of these people aren't human. So yeah, it's just so freaking dark and depressing, and I'm ready for it to be over. I really don't know how it's gonna end. Like, what is a happy ending at this point? Honestly, I'm like, how are they going to reconcile this? Pretty crazy, man. It is 6 o'clock right now, and I have friends coming over in 1 hour. So we are gonna see if I can finish this book. I'm currently at 86% in 1 hour. I'm highly doubting myself, but this is very much a little sneak peek into my realistic reading week. I just set very unnecessary ultimatums for myself, and then when I don't meet them, I'm like, but when I do meet them, I'm like, yes, I'm the best. So this is just a little sneak peek into what it's like to be reading as me. So we're gonna see how far I can get in 1 hour. I did it! Wait, where's my phone? It is not even 7 yet. I have 3 minutes to spare. Well, that definitely got better. I will say that. The romance didn't have enough burn for me to really enjoy it at first, but later on the couple goes through enough problems where it feels a little bit more like a journey to get them together, so that part I think will be more satisfying. It doesn't really like end here. It left off on a cliffhanger, which hasn't happened yet. So far in the other 3 books, it kind of like ends off on somewhat of a conclusion, especially when it comes to the couple. Like, the couple's together, the couple like did their whole thing, they're at the end of their journey now, and there is like more of a journey to go to when it comes to like the world and the overall quest conflict that they're doing, but when it comes to the couple, there's more of a conclusion. But this one, there isn't really. So So I kind of like that. Also with the crossover action at the end of the book, I liked that a lot more. So definitely, if you are going to read this one, stick with it. I feel like the quirkiness at the beginning kind of makes a little more sense when you think about the main character and her personality, and how that was definitely probably like a coping mechanism, because at the beginning of the book she was going through something pretty bad. And now that I kind of have read a whole book about her, and she does have her serious moments, and it's when she's like trying to be real and like disregarding her coping mechanism. And so I think that was kind of her at the beginning of her character arc, still like coping in not great ways. And so I think that's what happened there. The sun is setting, so it's getting real awkward. So yeah, overall I did end up enjoying this. I'm probably gonna give it a 4-star now. I was leaning more towards a 3 or 3.5, but now I think I'm gonna give it a 4 because that ending did get pretty juicy, and I am excited to pick up the next book. I'm pretty sure it's out. I don't know what it's called. Let me look it up on Goodreads. Realm of Shattered Lies. Okay, so that is the next one, I believe. Oh my, there's a lot more than I thought. There are, oh, she has another series, The Lost Girl, that I'm guessing is about Peter Pan. That's pretty cool. And there's also a novella, A Face to Slay the Shadows. That's pretty sick. So I think this is the last actual book in the series though, this 5th one. That's kind of bittersweet. I've been really enjoying this. So yeah, I did, I'm gonna put that down. I'm getting pretty excited, but yeah, I did really end up enjoying this, so stick with it. I promise it gets better, but I'll see you guys when I need to pick out another book. What's up, my precious friends? So I didn't film really at all today because in the morning I had to do a big shopping trip for my family, and then my boyfriend took me on a shopping spree, and that lasted a while, and then we just went and played video games together like all day, which was pretty great. But it also meant that I didn't read. During lunch, or breakfast, during my own personal brunch, I read 8% of A Curse for True Love. I'm deciding to finish that series in this video, hopefully, because it was one heck of a cliffhanger. I will give it that. My cat is playing with all sorts of things in the background, and it's kind of stressing me out, because what if it's something that I really don't want to get destroyed? He's just like biting on it and scratching it, and I have nothing to say about it. He's not going to listen to me. He doesn't listen to anyone, so that's great. But anyway, I might read this a little bit before I go to bed, just wash my face and everything, so I'm probably just going to be reading this until I fall asleep. Probably not going to be that much, to be honest. At most, probably 25%, but I kind of doubt I'm gonna get there before I fall asleep. So I will keep you posted on that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright guys, it's Wednesday, my dude. I'm gonna get to reading when I'm done with my Korean studies. I read a tiny bit when I was eating breakfast, and I'm at 27%. And it's getting good. It's getting good. I'm liking it. I might just take a break from Korean right now. I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but for some reason today I'm having a lot harder time studying than I have been. I'm on level 4 now, and I totally flew through the first 3 levels, and then now that I'm in level 4, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's all a lot harder. Maybe I just need to slow down. I'm trying to like learn it all really quickly and just shove it all into my brain at once, and maybe that's not the way to go. Who knew? I might just take a break and read some more. I don't know what's happening. I'm like hitting a Korean wall. No. Shadow, I need my lap still. Okay. Well, now I really feel like I can't. Babes, I love you. I love you so much. But I need my lap to hold my books. Why does this language have so many rules? So many words that I don't know, and they won't tell me what they mean. It's great. It's fine. I'll survive. I love learning languages. It's like, it's so fun, so I don't know why I'm having such a hard time.
So this day I also didn't read very much because of aforementioned Korean studies, which take up a lot of my brain power. But it's also because I had to cook dinner for the family that evening, and for whatever reason I'm so bad at cooking that it just takes up all of my brain space when I have to cook in the evening. It's like when you know you're gonna have to hang out with a group of friends later on, and you think that because you're gonna hang out later on you have no other plans for the day. Because it just is pretty difficult, doesn't come naturally to me, but at least my sister and my nephew came to visit me while I was cooking it, so that made it all better. This is me also making the spaghetti. It would not mix in with the butter, so that's aesthetic and really nice. But look, it turned out pretty good. Yeah, and it tasted good too, I promise. According to my family, it did. It's not just me. But it was like a mushroom gravy sauce with chicken. I know you care a lot, and that's why I'm telling you. And then I just read before I went to sleep, and this is how many pages I ended up reading. Alright, so I am 45% through, because I've had 2 days in a row where I haven't been focusing on reading, which is what happens in the realistic reading week for me, so. But so far in this book, there is one character that I hate. He's a disgusting, disgusting man. Speaking of disgusting men, I was just talking about disgusting men, and then you walked in. I was like, speak of the devil.
Pretty well. That's my face. How about you start talking about unintelligent women?
My brother, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, about this disgusting, disgusting man. Yeah, he's like becoming one of my least favorite characters in fiction, honestly. He has had the direct opposite of a character development. Well, his character has developed just 6 feet into the ground. Guys, he's worse than Tamlin. I'm sorry. Like, Tamlin wasn't this bad. He wasn't. He was just toxic. This guy is beyond toxic. He's a monster, quite honestly. So I'm having no trouble hating him over here. I know we're supposed to. I felt compassion for him, at least in the earlier books. And this one, he's just like, what happened? What happened to him? So that's quite unfortunate, but that's where we're at right now. Every chapter is just me being like I hope for things for him that are not very nice. Let's just say that. And it's making me root for the couple even more, honestly. I'm just like, please save her.
One thing I wanted to mention about this book is how unique it is among fantasy. I feel like there is a certain vibe when it comes to high fantasy or YA fantasy, and that this is definitely an outlier. I don't know how to explain it except with what I already said already. Gosh. We all know how articulate I am, but what made the reading experience so much more magical was our bird feeder that I was sitting right next to. I was able to watch the birds actually fly in, wait their turn to go into the feeder, and this time there was a little chickadee, and he just picked a seed and flew off, and it was just a perfect way to elevate the reading experience. I loved it. But the plot of this third book of the series was definitely not as simple as the last one. Like I was explaining that the simplicity of the last one was kind of nice. In this one, there's a trope that happens, which is the reason why the last book left on such a cliffhanger. And it kind of just took over a lot of the plot, made it really high stakes, it felt like, because I feel like there was constantly someone coming after the main character, and that can definitely make the reading experience feel more high stakes, even if nothing bad is happening in the moment. So I was really enjoying it, and the romance, of course, really had me in spaghetti meatballs. Don't know what I just said, but it felt right.
I'm your monster. Okay. Jump scare. Hey, I just got done dancing, and that is why I look like a little radish. But don't mind that. I've been reading to cool down, and it's getting kind of insane. So I definitely want to film my reactions to this because we're entering the climax, 89% through, and I'm already stressed out. So I can't wait. So let's just go ahead and read. I don't really understand what's happening, but I like it. Well, that was bound to go up in flames. That's... Oh, that's good. That's amazing. Explain more before the book ends. There's something that I really hope there's an explanation for. That was really good. I have a lot of questions still. I liked the ending. I definitely liked the ending. There was one thing that I was so confused by though. I was like, why? What? There was this big emotional, relational conflict that's been going on this entire time, and then there was like no payoff for it. I don't want to spoil anything, but maybe you know what I'm talking about if you've read this book. Like they were so worried about this one thing, and then like nothing happened when they did it. So I don't know. But there were a lot of things about the ending that was very satisfying. That was genius. That was genius. I love that. So that is going to be the end of this vlog, I think. So I managed to read 3 books. I have successfully broken in my new e-reader. I love it so much. Now I know this is like the best purchase I've ever made in my life. I'll hopefully decorate it probably at some point too. A pop socket would be a good idea. I've seen some girls have that, and it would actually be really helpful because it's kind of hard to hold. So I read Ballad of Never After, A Throne of Blood and Ice, and then Curse for True Love, and loved all of them for sure. I think Curse for True Love I'm gonna give a 4.5 as well. So I think I gave all the books in that series 4.5, so it's really solid. Definitely recommend. So magical. The way that Stephanie Garber writes is so unique, and I was actually thinking that that whole time that it would actually make a really good anime series. I don't know, just like the love interest and the main characters just seem like they would suit an anime so well, and her writing style and the magic system and stuff. I feel like I've seen magic that's kind of similar to that in animes before. So I was like, man, if they could like animate this, it would look so good. That's what I was thinking. The vibes are very, like I said, I don't think I normally experience these kinds of vibes when reading a normal fantasy book. It just feels like different. It's just more like an actual fairy tale, like a Grimm book, like the magic from there. That's kind of like unexplainable, some things. It's more about the, like magic is just unexplainable. It's not like a hard and fast system like in a Brandon Sanderson book or some other fantasy series. It's just very like fickle and hard to understand, and some people have managed to master one form of magic, but then the rest are just like confusing. And so if you like that kind of thing, and I do, then I definitely recommend that, because then it just becomes less of like the rules of the world and more of just like experiencing it. So I really like that about these series. The same as with Caraval. And so again, I am a big advocate for reading Caraval as well. I feel like they have very similar vibes to it, and there's some crossover characters as well, and that's part of why I would recommend reading Caraval first, because there's so many spoilers for it in Once Upon a Broken Heart, so, and that would suck. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been the realistic reading week in the life of me, an avid bookworm. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. I am coming out with some good videos in the future, so stay tuned. And please subscribe. Please like and comment and all of that great stuff. Let me know what you think of the books that I read, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.